Good morning, I'm Harry Moore and you're watching BCG News. In today's show, our first story, how lockdown has affected the mental health of teenagers over the country, violent radicals hiding in plain sight, and talking to the general public about the importance of global warming. And now Millie with a deep dive on the unseen damage caused by the government response to coronavirus.
COVID-19, a disease that has been around since December 2019. It has come up to a year that the nation has had to live with this pandemic. It is estimated that there have been over 1 million deaths and around 50 million cases of coronavirus. COVID-19 has not only affected people's physical health but also mental health. Teenagers, being one of the main affected groups, have experienced an increased feeling of loneliness and isolation due to the restrictions on socialising and interacting with others. Okay, so today I'm joined with Sam and Ethan from Bucks College in Amersham, and we're going to ask them a few questions about COVID-19 and how it may have affected their mental health. So do you think your mental health has changed during the pandemic, and if so, in a positive or negative way?
I think overall in general with both lockdowns it's definitely affected my mental health in a negative way. Like for example with working I'm feeling a lot less motivated, there's a lot of distractions at home that otherwise wouldn't be there. And yeah, in general I'm feeling less motivated, which is a negative. It's a negative.
Yeah, I think in terms of work in the original lockdown, obviously I didn't get to do my GCSE, so the work was less of a problem, but it was at first it was a nice escape from sort of the rush of the world and time to sit back, but then it started to have negative effects as I was looking towards my first year of college and stuff like that. It started to really sort of pile on the stress, and with no one really there to sort of talk to other than my family, who I've been talking to for a few months at that point. It's like, yeah, it gets a bit of a struggle as time goes on.
Okay, so do you think coming back to school has made it better, or do you think it's gotten worse?
Well, I definitely enjoy socialising with new people. It's definitely like at college I enjoy a lot more than the school environment, but the 1 week on, 1 week off system where we're doing Zoom calls, I definitely don't get on well with. I don't do a lot of work during the Zoom calls, so in some ways yes, in some ways unfortunately no.
Yeah, I think in the Zoom calls there's a lot of distractions around when you're at home, and I think it's so much less, you feel less involved, personally anyway, and it's less, you just feel less involved basically.
So what's the worst thing you think you had to deal with during the pandemic?
Mainly, I was at home with my family, but mainly missing my friends, because before I was going out quite a bit, and then from suddenly going to that to not being able to meet friends at all was a huge kind of shock to me, and that kind of, although I could socialise with them on social media, it wasn't the same as seeing them in person, so that definitely affected me during the pandemic.
Yeah, similar to Ethan. I had those sort of thoughts as well, and I think after a while, as somebody who likes to fill my time with more creative stuff, massive lack of inspiration really, with just the same four walls, looking at them over and over again. So yeah.
So do you think life has gotten back to normal now, or do you still feel a bit on edge?
It's definitely, I felt like it was going back to normal, but obviously we're in the second lockdown now, so it's kind of, I feel like we're slowly making progress, but we're kind of taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, so I think we're nearly there, but you just got to hold out until it gets back to normal.
Yeah, very good point, so I definitely agree with that. I think, we're moving in the right direction, but obviously I think, unless it's obviously newfound vaccine stuff that they're talking about, unless that's 100% not for a while, at the moment it's obviously with the new lockdown, people believe it's a step back, and it does feel like a step back, but obviously we'd have to take a bigger step back if we didn't act on it quickly, but yeah, that's my opinion.
Well, thank you guys for your time, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, no worries, it's been a pleasure being here.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay, that's all from me. Back to Harry in the studio.
Thanks, Millie. With the UK terror threat level recently raised to severe, we believed it was important for the public to know about the violent radicals that could be living in their very neighbourhood. We created a fake social media account and infiltrated a few Facebook groups to see what we could discover about the largest known radical group currently in the UK. In order to access these groups, we created a false account that seemed to align with the ideals of these communities, and then requested access. This allowed us to see a call to action of sorts that seemed to encourage extrajudicial violence, at some points naming locations they would want bombed or proposing their own attacks through explosive means. Many individuals in these groups encouraged the idea of public execution or physical mutilation for those they deemed less than human. It is painfully apparent that these fundamentalists are unhappy with the UK government and judicial system, going so far as to say that they want to impose their own system of law on the country. A few members of these communities have incredibly regressive views on women's rights, one individual even claiming that women should never have been given the right to vote. While we are fortunate that these radicals chose to communicate in written English, it's entirely possible that this is not their first language. This would explain why it was sometimes difficult to understand their posts, with inexplicable use of punctuation, incorrect grammar, and an abundance of misspelt words. We advise all of our viewers to avoid anybody that aligns with the views of this group for your own safety. I was understandably frightened by these posts. Earlier I spoke to Charlotte Fox, who is an expert on this group.
Hi Charlotte, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
That's perfectly all right. So Charlotte, I was obviously worried about the EDL after seeing all those messages. How dangerous do you think they are?
I think when they first started out in 2009, I think they were not so dangerous, but due to Corona coming on in, late last year, and the Black Lives Matter protests that have been also happening, in America and here, I think that they've gotten worse, and I think that we're going to have to do more to...
So they're aggravated by those events?
Yes, definitely.
I can understand why that would be dangerous, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the government is doing enough? Are they doing anything to protect people?
I think they could do more.
Okay.
I think with the current situation, it's very hard, with the pandemic, but I think that after this lockdown, they're gonna have to step up, because I think that they will start to fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope not, but it seems almost inevitable at this point.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
We will now go to a short advertisement break. We will be back soon. Hi, welcome back to BC News. For our final story, we sent Keris Walker to talk to the public about global warming.
Today I spoke to various members of the public to see their perception of global warming.
I think it's important that we understand what global warming actually does, rather than just let it fly.
I'm not really too fussed because I'll probably be dead when it happens. So.
Global warming is important to me because it can affect my future, and I want to prevent it.
Oh yeah, being honest, I don't really care that much because I want to go to Canada and it'll get a bit warmer there. So yeah, pretty much.
It's very important to look after our environment. I think people need to do more.
Scary stuff. Thank you, Keris, for that illuminating report. Breaking news. I seem to have lost my pen. All attempts to find my pen have thus far failed. We'll be back after the weather with more on this report.
Thank you, Harry. Over the next week at Amersham campus, we have sunny days throughout, the coldest being Thursday, where temperatures are expected to drop to a very chilly 6 degrees at 9 AM, steadily rising to a rather moderate 20. By midday on Wednesday and Friday, we can expect highs of again 25. Freezing into the evening with light showers Wednesday night, with lows of 10 degrees on Thursday too. And that's the weather. Back to Harry in the studio.
Thank you, Jules. New developments in the case of the missing pen. The pen has been found. It was in my pocket for what is believed to be the entire length of this broadcast. I'm Harry Moore, and this is BCG News. Goodbye for now.